everybody, and welcome inside another edition of What's Cooking at Vincent Joe's. As always, we have their executive chef, Angelo Loria, here, and it's the holiday season. Absolutely. I understand, and I can see it's roast central in here.
It's roast central too. So the sides are always, you can change them up a little bit, but the roast are the star. You're gonna have mashed potatoes. Someone's gonna have, candied yams, whatever they're gonna have. But the main star, the one that's gonna get featured, the one that gets the bigger plate, is always the roast. Whether it's a turkey, whether it's a ham, prime rib, tenderloin, crown pork roast, whatever it is, it's the star. And there's always questions and concerns of, I've got 15 people coming. How do I cook the star for that many people? I'm so nervous, I've never done it before. So we try to help you out. You can come in and ask us, but I think this is going to give people a lot of ideas and help as to the basic way to make sure their star, their roast, the center of the plate, comes out well.
And we all know I can use all the help I can get. You guys were saying earlier, it's the end of the year, I should be able to be a decent chef. I think this might be the one that puts me over the top, and I'm going to need you to lead me and show me, what the secrets are behind the different kinds of roast.
So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you have the best roast. We have a great meat department. They're so knowledgeable about the type of roast you got, and as well as preparing it too. And you have the kitchen staff that can come out and talk to you if you have any further questions that they might not be able to answer. But when it comes to meat, there's different grades of meat. For beef, you've got prime, you've got choice, you've got select, and you've got some other grades as well. But these right here are both two choice cuts of meat. One's a tenderloin and one's a prime rib roast. It's a standing prime rib roast that we've cradled. And they can do this all for you here, where they keep the flap on. You have to worry about tying it; it gets messy.
Right.
Use the wrong, use dental floss because you ran out of the regular.
Right.
Things catch on fire. It's just not fun. But they do this for you because you can end up cooking it right on top of it, and it won't burn in the bottom. You get that; it'll impart that flavor from the bone. For me, bone-in meat is so much more flavorful because it's imparting the flavor from the bone. What you need to look for is you need to look for marbling. So when it comes to meat like this, look at the beautiful marbling, the little white specks. Not this stuff right here. The prime rib is always going to have that fat roll right through the middle, but you have this beautiful marbling, and that's what's going to give you the flavor. It's going to help keep it. It's going to help keep it moist. So it's super important that it has good marbling.
Is that technically fat, but not like excess fat?
It's good fat.
Yeah.
We'll call it good fat. Without this, you're going to end up a lot of times let's say you get wild game. You cook it. It's so dry.
Yeah, that's what I would guess.
Because they're constantly moving animals. So these animals are free range, but they're not necessarily super free range. They can go wherever they want to. They're still in quarters, and that helps keep this fat as well as their feed. So these two animals right here are grass-fed. Cows are meant to eat grass, so you're going to get a great flavor from it. You get that natural marbling to it. Our meat department, there's so many different types of meat you can do that you can purchase from us. It's almost overwhelming if you come in, but if you talk to one of our experts back there in the meat department, they can really help things out and let things move pretty smoothly for you.
And marbling, this may be a dumb question, but it's natural. It's automatically in the meat. It's not something you do to it. Because for some reason in my head it was, when you're hitting it with a little hammer with
when you're flattening it out, tenderizing it.
For some reason that's what came to my head, but that's not.
Not at all. No, marbling is all about this too. And then what they look at when it comes to grading them, the USDA will look at the fat cap on it too. So there's a bunch of standards that they have to follow when they grade a piece of meat. So you can have two cows that are going in the same pasture. One could be a prime, one could be a choice. Just by their nature of how much activity they had, or their genetic breed, I guess. So we've got this. When it comes to larger pieces of meat, low and slow. This piece, 300 degrees, 275. This one right here would probably take about 2 hours. About 15 minutes an hour. But the only way to guarantee that it's going to be the temperature you want it to be is by using a thermometer. Using a meat thermometer. Don't guess, there's no squeezing to it. We do that a lot in the back of the house, but even I've seen some of the best squeezers. They are not, even they make mistakes too. So the probe will never lie. It could be burnt on the outside because you've got it too hot or something went wrong. But on the inside, if the temperature reads 75 degrees, it's still raw.
Yeah, right.
What we got a couple simple ways to do it. We sell rubs, we sell all this sort of stuff. When you buy a prepared prime rib from us, we have a special spice blend, a custom spice blend that we use for our prime rib. Absolutely delicious. We've got in there, we've got some onion, some granulated onion. We've got some granulated garlic, salt, of course, black pepper, ground thyme, ground bay leaves, ground oregano, ground basil. Absolutely a perfect spice blend for a meat that you're going to be cooking for a long time.
Right.
And I'll get to what I mean by that. So what you want to do is basically going to put it in here. And then a little bit of help too. We're gonna use our best friend here, olive oil, because again, we're Italian. If we don't replenish our olive oil count, it's kind of like white blood cells. You know, we won't be able to fight disease.
Hopefully Popeye won't get jealous.
So we've got this. Now you close it up.
It's like a book.
Yeah, and you do the same thing on the other side. You know, so you got the olive oil on it. Mm-hmm. And this is an extremely hands-on. And if you wanted to add a Cajun blend, you want to do like a Cajun prime rib, that'd be a great time, great way to use it. If you wanted,
I always love to smell the mixture with the olive oil. Yeah,
it's absolutely delicious. It's so easy too. And you have this. Let's say you have a cup of this. You're not going to use a cup, but you can use it on turkey. You can use it on if you got some other things, some roast that you're doing. It's a great spice blend for it. So instead of having to remake this thing over and over again, keep it in a container, closed, a dry space. It can last you for a couple months at least.
That's good.
You always want to, when it comes to cooking, you want to try to make it as user-friendly as possible. You don't want to be discouraged from cooking. So stuff like this, make it simple. So that's how we're going to do this one. This one right here, we've got some beautiful herbs that we use. We got some rosemary and some thyme that we chopped up with some garlic and olive oil. We've got it in this container right here. And you're just going to, first, of course, salt and pepper, always, and season every side. Season every side. It might seem like it's maybe a hair excessive, but it's not. So we've got this beautiful seasoned meat. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to brush this on. And this is another thing too. If you've got steaks that you're marinating, if you've got steaks that you're cooking on the grill, you marinate this lamb chops in a little bit of this for, a half hour. You brush it on, and you can further baste this as it's cooking.
Right.
But it's as simple as that, and now your roast is ready to go. When it comes to smaller pieces of meat, I always recommend searing it first. I always recommend searing it first, and that way you get the nice brown on the outside. With this right here, you can put it in. We got our oven set to 300. We're just going to put it straight in the oven, and then in a couple hours, you're good to go. When it comes to getting your meat prepared, you want to pull that meat out a half hour, 45 minutes before you put it in the oven. Okay. Because you don't want to take a cold piece of meat and put it in the oven, because that's going to kind of throw off the way it's cooking. That inside is going to stay colder for longer. Okay. You let it temper a little bit at room temperature, you're good to go. It'll be much easier. You have much better results.
And searing, is that when the flames come out?
That's when the flames come out.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's the stuff. So now we're searing. The smell is here.
The smell is great. So we've got the pan. You want to make sure this gets very, very hot. You don't want to see flames coming over the side of your pan, because it's not. The flames over here aren't doing anything. So you get a nice strong flame underneath there. You see a little bit of smoke coming up from that, and you need to hear the sizzle when you put it down. First sizzle.
Or shizzle.
First sizzle.
So just sear what? It's just olive oil.
So you can use olive oil, but if you don't like olive oil, if you want a more neutral one, then you can use canola oil. You can use soybean oil, whatever kind of oil you want to use. Coconut oil, if you're looking for a healthier option. But for me, again, being Italian, we have
like that authentic.
You have that, and I wish we had some kind of smell-o-vision going on, because you've got the rosemary, the thyme. It's almost like the thyme is like infused in the flames that's coming up. It's just delicious. It smells great.
It really does.
And all this stuff you can do super ahead of time. So if you're making your prime rib, don't wait until 2 hours before you eat to put it in the oven. Cook it 4 hours before you're supposed to eat. And then that way you'll have plenty of time, because it takes longer.
Plenty of time. Okay.
You can pull it out, and then before you eat, you just throw it back in the oven and warm it up, because the inside will continue to cook. It's called carryover cooking.
Okay.
So if you pull it out at a rare, it'll probably go up to medium rare. So you always want to pull it out at the temperature before you want to eat it.
There's that sizzle.
There's that sizzle. So you want a nice, beautiful, dark color on it. The more caramelization you get here, when you put it in the oven to finish cooking, you're going to have that great flavor on the outside too. And then once you're done cooking it, you can actually make your au jus, your pan sauce here.
Oh, okay.
Take a little bit of wine, deglaze it, marsala, whatever you're drinking that day.
Okay.
And it's absolutely delicious. But for me, the way I eat this is by itself. It's so good. I don't need to hide it with the sauce. I don't need to mask it over with the sauce. When you have great ingredients, like the meat we have here at Vincent Joe's, you're going to realize that it's so much easier to cook with when it's fresh and when you know where it's coming from.
Right.
And if it's
and yeah, it's just, I could just sit there and smell it, and that'd be good enough for me. But I can only imagine what this puppy tastes like.
And so when it comes to the roast season, and right now is roast season, especially for the holidays, you want to make sure that you know about your meat. Your neighbors or your Christmas gifts you're buying, they're not that important, because you're going to go on Amazon on the 23rd anyways and have them express shipped for the next day.
Exactly, that's how I shop.
But what you're eating, it's the fuel for your body. So you want to make sure that you have the best of everything, especially for the holiday season, but throughout the year. It's always so important to eat well.
So how long do you just kind of check it to see how it's
kind of check it to
looking?
see where it's going. Give it a little shake. If it comes loose, that means it's got a nice good sear on it. You turn it over. See how beautiful?
Yes, that is a nice color.
You got some beautiful color to it. And that olive oil helps protect it as well. So you want to make sure that you have this color all the way through. You're going to sear it on all four sides. And then pop it in the oven.
So if you, I don't know how you personally like your meat temperature-wise, but I know me, I'm more of a medium rare kind of guy. I feel like that's the most flavor.
Yeah.
Is there a recommended temperature to cook like a bigger roast? I know this isn't really the bigger roast, because this I feel like is more cooked to order, but a roast I feel like is so big.
It's so big, 300 degrees. So 300 degrees in the oven. When you pull it out, I pull out my medium rare prime rib at 118.
Okay.
If you look on the health department, all that sort of stuff, they're going to say you cook it to 135 for medium rare. You cook to 135, I guarantee you, you're not going to have medium rare. I bet that's one promise that I'll have to you. But you pull it out at 118, and then from there, if it needs to be cooked more, you can just put it back in the oven. But you can never uncook it once it's been beyond that. And if someone wants someone wants a well done piece, you've got it on the sides. If more people want it, get a pan out and just saute it. You know.
Oh, I love the sound, love the smell. Love the flame.
Yeah, no, this is it's so much fun cooking food here because we never are in need of the best ingredients. It's all here.
Right here.
From the meat to the herbs to the olive oil to everything. We've got experts in every department. We really, really do, and I don't just say that. If you have a question about cooking, call me. I actually come out and talk to people.
Really?
Our director of meat, our director of seafood, our deli director, they're so knowledgeable about the products that we sell, the products that we use every day. That's why it's a ton of fun to work here, because you learn something new every day about your department or another department or what people are looking for to eat.
You know what they say, you learn something new every day?
Yeah.
Literally, that's the case.
Literally, it's the case. So now we've got to get one more side done here. We're going to toss it in the oven, and then we're going to have our finished product.
Beautiful, man. It's pretty quick, too.
You know, with this right here, speaking of quick, you want to make sure your oven's preheated at 375.
375?
Well, this one's a fast one. 375, and you're going to pull this out, same thing, 118, a little bit less maybe, because it's not going to have as much carryover. So we probably a good 113 for a medium rare.
And how long do you think that takes, since it's already seared?
It's going to take you probably 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Not very long at all.
A lot quicker than
the 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
So if you've got ham, the spiral slice hams that we have are pre-cooked. You put them in the oven. I think it says 8 minutes for every pound.
That's just to heat it up?
Just to heat it up. It's already cooked. You can have it raw. You can eat it the way it is. It's just to get all that brown sugar and stuff down.
Put the fruit on it.
The crown roast, pork crown roast, same way your prime rib. Low and slow. It'll brown up for you. It'll be absolutely delicious.
And that's an easy way to remember it. Rhymes, low, slow.
Exactly.
Can't mess this up.
Right.
Even me.
So these are the roasts we have this here, and for all your holiday catering, we have holiday catering packages too. If you want to come in and you don't feel like cooking, you don't feel like making your house smell this good from the onset or having the mess, we can make the house smell good for you without the mess.
Right,
Come on in. We've got great catering packages starting at $11.99 a person. So come on in. We would love to cook for your family.
Perfect. So now we toss this in the oven, and then we
Now we toss it in and then we eat.
Perfect. That's the best part.
Put it right in the oven. There we go. Okay, so now that we got these pulled out of the oven, you see how beautiful they look. Again, this one right here about 2 hours. This one right here about 30 minutes. Absolutely delicious. It's so good. It's so easy, and you want to be stress-free. When people come over your house, or you're going to someone's house, say, you know what? I'll bring the prime rib. I'll bring the tenderloin. I'll bring all the center, because it's the easiest part. The mashed potatoes make a mess. Everything else makes a mess
Right.
too. This is simple. You put it in the same pot. You cook it in the same container you cook it in. You bring it with, and people think you work so hard at it. And you can tell them you did. You can lie. It can be our secret.
Right. I won't tell.
It's absolutely delicious, and I think you'll enjoy having a center of the plate item like this on your table for the holidays.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can even tell my family that hopefully they're not watching, and they'll say, "Yeah, I made this for you. I really did."
And again,
all you guys.
And again, in a pinch, we can make it for you. We can have it seasoned for you. We can have it seared off for you. We can have it cooked to rare for you. However you want it done. We can have it sliced, ready to go for you.
It's easy. All you do is show up, or can you call as well?
You know what? You can call ahead of time. Put your order in 24 hours.
Okay.
Give a call. You can say, hey Josh, if you're at the Shelby Township store, or hey Jordan or Glenn, if you're at the at our Clinton Township store, I'm on the curb. They'll come bring it to your car, and you're all set. Curbside.
That's beautiful. Well, I'm excited to dig into this.
Sounds great.
And, excited to maybe surprise my family with a little prime rib or tenderloin or crown. I'll bring it all.
That sounds good.
Okay, maybe I won't bring it all, but I know where I can get
Exactly.
it. And as always, I want to thank you for showing us how to, spice up the holidays with some roasts.
Perfect.
And, thank you for tuning in to another edition of What's Cooking at Vincent Joe's.
Thank you.